Hello. Today we're going to learn a new piece called Mona Lisa. It's in this book here. It's on page 12. This is what it looks like. There are some new techniques in here that we may not have done before. There are some strummed chords. That's what the little wiggly arrow means. And the strangely shaped note there is called a harmonic. We'll get. I'm going to divide it up into sections. Section 1 is from the beginning to bar 10. Section 2, I'm going to start from there, from bar 11, and take it up to bar 14. Section 3, I'm going to start from bar 15, take it up to the harmonic on bar 18, and then section 4 I'm going to treat as bar 19 until the end. Now, starting with section 1, we're going to look at those chords that you have at the beginning. The first bass note, string 4, you'll play it with your thumb, that's why it says P. And with the little wiggly arrow, it also says P. So you strum the 3 strings with your thumb, just gently across strings 3, 2 and 1. So practicing with your right hand, string 4 and then 3, 2, 1, get it nice and even. Of course, that first chord isn't all open strings. There's an E, a C and an A. What you need to watch out for with your left hand is that your fingers are really on their ends, only touching the strings they're supposed to touch, because if they lean back, this is what you'll get. And that's not so good. So your first bass note and chord will sound like this. The second bass note and chord are easier. String 5, G, B, E, and they are all open strings. So your first pair of chords will sound like that. The chord is a 2-beat one, the bass note is a 1-beat one. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's your rhythm. There's a repeat mark, you play it twice. Let's play it twice together. And 1, 2, 3. The chords are the same every time. And every time they turn up, they're also played twice. So in section 1, you get the same pair of chords played twice at the beginning of the first line, beginning of the second line, beginning of the third line. We'll have a look at the ends of the first and second line. Here's your first group of notes. You play the bass note D with your thumb, and then the next bit with your fingers. At the end of line 2, it's a very similar pattern. The difference that you've got is there's an extra note in there and it's quicker. So there are a pair of quavers after the open D. So now we're going to play section 1 all the way through. Don't forget to play the pairs of chords twice each from the beginning, and 1, 2, 3. Section 2 is only 4 bars long. There are only 8 notes in it. Let's work them out and make sure you're playing them thumb, finger. Have a look at the dynamics that go with it. It starts off quiet, P for quiet, piano, and then there's a crescendo to forte, F for forte, loud, and then there's a diminuendo again. And this is the tricky thing about part 2. You've only got 4 notes to get louder on, you've only got 4 notes to get quieter on. So here is part 2 with that crescendo and diminuendo. 1, 2, 3. And now we're moving on to part 3. The first 2 bars of part 3 are exactly the same as what you had on the first line, so we don't need to worry about that, you can already do it. What I want to go on to is the harmonic in bar 18. Now if you see a diamond shaped note in guitar music, this is a harmonic. This one is played on string 5, and the 12 means that you play it at the 12th fret. On a classical style guitar, the 12th fret is usually where the neck joins the body, but I would have a count just to make sure. If you have a steel string guitar, it may be further along. There are often a pair of dots or something to give you a signpost for that though, but count just to make sure. This is the thing with harmonics. You put your finger exactly over the top of the fret, but you don't press it down. You just put it on the string and you can let go of it afterwards. And you get a little bell noise. You can get it on all of those strings at fret 12 and they sound like bells. Practice that until you can get it ringing just like that. You can take your finger off after you've played it, it continues ringing. So if we do bars 17 and 18, they go like this. Look at where you're going when you're going for the harmonic at fret 12. Make sure you know where your fret 12 is. It may not be the same on every guitar. The open G gives you enough time to get from that C. Your hand is travelling and you're there. The writ, slowing down, also gives you a little bit extra time just to get your hand into the right place. I personally would play that harmonic with my thumb. So here's section 3 all the way through. 1, 2, 3. And the little sign over the top of the harmonic is a pause mark. You just hold on to that note and let it ring. Section 4 says a tempo. That means go back to the original speed that you were doing before you did the writ and the pause in section 3. The beginning of section 4, it's those 2 chords again. Played twice. But this time they're written out rather than just written out once and with a repeat sign with them. That's because it's going to get quieter the second time. And then at the end you've got 3 notes, each with a pause mark on. So you let them all ring, hold them on a bit longer than you would normally keep them, and the little curved line from each one, you let it ring on. So you need your middle finger right on its end so that it's not leaning over and stopping that B. With your right hand, I would play it all, even string 2, with your thumb, because you're not going to stop the other notes accidentally. And here's part 4 all the way through. 1, 2, 3. When you're playing Mona Lisa all the way through, try to make it as smooth and even as you possibly can. Each of the notes moves smoothly onto the next one. This is based on a tune by a French composer called Erik Satie, called Gymnopédie No. 1. Have a listen to that if you can. You'll be able to hear the character of the music. And here's Mona Lisa all the way through.